Let's listen in now to other reactions also come in, irrespective of political ideologies, people offering their condolence messages.
मिलते थे तो बहुत ही भावुक हो जाते थे और उनकी माताजी की भी सीख उनको थी कि एक सादगी भरा जीवन उन्होंने बिताया और कर्तव्य हमेशा ईमानदारी से निभाते रहो, ऐसी सीख उनकी थी। ये एक मिसाल है, एक आदर्श है ये देश को और दुनिया को। और आज वो हमारे बीच नहीं रही है, ये देशवासियों के लिए बहुत ही दुखद है। हमारे देश का ये बहुत बड़ा नुकसान है। महाराष्ट्र की ओर से मैं उनको भावपूर्ण श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करता हूँ।
हालांकि आज ऐसा मौका नहीं है, लेकिन शिंदे साहब, एक सवाल मैं आपसे पूछना चाह रही हूं, क्योंकि अक्सर हमने देखा है जब कोई महानुभाव, कोई बड़े व्यक्ति की मृत्यु होती है तो एक बड़ा सियासी आयोजन होता है, तमाम मुख्यमंत्री, नेता, सभी ओहदेदार पहुंचते हैं, लेकिन आज बहुत ही सादगी से उनका अंतिम संस्कार किया गया है।
यही तो उनकी सीख थी, यही उनका आदर्श था, वही प्रधानमंत्री जी निभा रहे हैं और बहुत ही सादगी के साथ और ये उन्होंने अपना जीवन बिताया। और आज देखिए अंतिम संस्कार भी प्रधानमंत्री जी ने बहुत ही सादगी से ये अपना कर्तव्य निभाते हुए हम सब लोग देख रहे हैं। ये बहुत ही अपने आप में एक बहुत बड़ी मिसाल है, एक आदर्श है पूरे देशवासियों के लिए।
शिंदे साहब, बहुत परेशानियों से एक मां के तौर पर उनका जीवन बीता है। प्रधानमंत्री खुद बहुत भावुक हुए थे जब उन्होंने फेसबुक के कॉन्क्लेव में ये कहा था कि मेरी मां ने मेरे परिवार को पालने के लिए अपने पिता का जिक्र किया, लेकिन मां पर आते आते वो बहुत भावुक हो गए थे, रो पड़े थे। उन्होंने कहा था कि कैसे वो आसपास के घरों में काम तक करती थी ताकि अपने बच्चों को वो पढ़ा सके, पाल सके, अच्छा जीवन दे सके। ये प्रेरणा स्रोत है। वो उनकी भूमिका, दुनियादारी में अव्वल रहना, अपने बच्चों को पालना, नागरिक के तौर पर 25 दिन पहले जाकर अपना वोट भी डालना, ये एक संदेश है शिंदे साहब।
ये बहुत बड़ा संदेश है और उन्होंने काफी कष्ट किए अपने परिवार का पालन पोषण करने के लिए और इसी वजह से इतने बड़े देश के प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी भी उनके बताए हुए राह पे चल रहे हैं। हमेशा उन्होंने उनके माताजी ने कर्तव्य को प्राथमिकता दी है, प्रायोरिटी दी है। ये हम लोगों ने देखा है, 100 साल हुए थे फिर भी जाके वोट करना और पूरी तरह सादगी के साथ एक सामान्य माता जैसे अपने कर्तव्य निभाती है, इतने बड़े प्राइम मिनिस्टर होने के बावजूद उनके जीवन में उन्होंने कभी भी बदलाव नहीं आने दिया। ये अपने आप में बहुत बड़ी मिसाल है और एक बहुत बड़ा संदेश पूरे दुनिया भर के लिए और देशवासियों के लिए है।
धन्यवाद आपका एकनाथ शिंदे साहब हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए, जो कि अपनी संवेदनाएं प्रकट कर रहे हैं।
महाराष्ट्र चीफ मिनिस्टर एकनाथ शिंदे, they're speaking to our sister channel Aaj Tak. While we stay on with these visuals, I'm also joined in by Gaurav Sawant for the latest. Gaurav, you know, of course, this is a sorrowful moment, but I cannot help also but remember, and we must constantly mention that while Narendra Modi may have become the Prime Minister or, of course, is leading the country today with his own hard work and the battles that he's won by himself, by his own determination, but it must be a mother's confidence imparted, and that is the culture to acknowledge and respect it. A mother, despite all restrictions, to have given the opportunities, confidence, lessons to the son to become the Narendra Modi that he did today.
You're absolutely right, Pooja. His mother had a very, very important role in shaping Prime Minister Narendra Modi's life. Also his policies, if I may. You'd recall the Prime Minister had often mentioned as a child he would watch his mother cook food, gather firewood and cook food at home in a windowless kitchen. So when he became the Prime Minister and had an opportunity to make changes in lives of people, he came up with the Ujjwala Yojana of cooking gas to be made available to people below poverty line at a certain rate. So Ujjwala Yojana comes out of the hardships that he saw his mother face, and he didn't want other women in this generation to face those kind of problems or gather firewood. Point one. Point two, once again, a house that did not have toilets, and in those times in Gandhinagar, that was one of his key result areas when he took over as Prime Minister of India. Izzat Ghar, or toilet as the government put it, to be built in houses, and that was a game changer as far as hygiene and women's health was concerned. Again, he'd seen his mother face hardships. He didn't want other women to face those hardships, so he brought about these changes. So in a way, Pooja, that also reflects how his mother's life had a major impact even on his policies. And like you and I have been discussing, his mother was constantly by his side, virtually supporting every decision that he took, and being out there in front. So, for example, just in December, voting for assembly elections despite 100 years of age, many said perhaps because of the cold and ill health, she may not be able to go, but she went. Whether it was demonetization, she stood in the queue to get money changed, or vaccination, she stood in the queue and got the vaccine done. So all of that showed how close the mother and son were and how aligned the mother was to her son's growth story.
And, can only imagine what the son today would be feeling. For us to know him as a politician, as a Prime Minister, is the professional aspect. But for a son to come to Gujarat this time and not meet his mother, the meetings that were heartwarming pictures. Today, for him to light the pyre of his mother, Heeraba Modi, must be a heartbreaking, sorrowful moment, and for any son today. And you can clearly see from these visuals on our screen right now, trying to hold back those tears when the closest of the close family members, the sons of the family today, together lighting the pyre, sending a goodbye forever to Heeraba Modi. But Gaurav, a mother doesn't really go anywhere. It is, of course, the mortal world that she's left after a glorious century of 100 years. But it's the lessons that she's left behind, and watching the children grow, prosper, perhaps that would be a relief to her too, to know that from where they came and to manage to see them do so well in life, for her to say, I know that she's going to become the Prime Minister before he did. All of this confidence clearly is what is perhaps reflected in Prime Minister Narendra Modi also today.
Very solid grounding, very, very solid grounding he's had as a child. And, he'd also written that how his mother would sing bhajans, chant bhajans,
yes,
tell him about, the way gods lived, the way, acharan, the way your conduct should be in public life, and how he imbibed the Lord. Also the fact that every birthday, she would present him a Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and lessons from Srimad Bhagavad Gita actually help you live your life. It also talks about how sharir nashwar hai, lekin atma to ajar amar hai. And that is a lesson, that actually helps you tide over in any difficult situation. You're absolutely right. A mother is the most important person in any individual's life. She's your first guru, she's your first school. Your entire grounding as your personality, reflects what your parents have taught you. So you're absolutely right. Deep pain, but also the fact that a mother's life guides him while she was alive for 100 years, and also perhaps in the years and decades to come. She led by example. The Prime Minister's faith in Lord Shiv, the Prime Minister's faith, his beliefs, a lot of what he talks about are lessons that he's learned from his mother and is now passing on to the next generation of Indians.